Hello, everyone. Welcome in. While you're getting adjusted and situated, just a couple of reminders. Please mute yourselves when you're not asking a question. Please only ask one question at a time. No follow-ups or questions in multiple parts to be fair to everyone's time. And please say your name and your outlet before your first question. All right, and with that, we'll begin with Kathy Copcutt with Bel Air Mommy.
Well, first, let me say hi and thank you for taking the time to do this. I'm thrilled to see you ladies. Thanks for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for sharing your beautiful story with us.
Thank you.
It was absolutely, it took my breath away, and I'm going to pick up the book. We're going to be on a plane ride soon, so I'm going to pick up the book because I was trying to explain to my son. He goes, "Oh, you're watching a movie," and I said, "It's not a movie; it's a life story. Come sit and watch it with me." And then there were some points where I was like, "Go to the kitchen." And then I'll go to the kitchen and stay there for a couple minutes. I wanted to know, I know why you were inspired to do it, but what, and I've got to think of another word, what made you want to do this, to share it with the world? Because it's touching.
I initially just needed some way to channel my grief because I felt like I was going to lose my mind if I didn't. And then I thought, I'm the only national journalist in the country who's had that knock at the door where you open it up and soldiers are standing there and they don't even have to say a word. And I wanted families, people to understand what that feels like, so that I know folks, respect the military, but could even have a greater appreciation for military service and to realize it's not just the soldier who serves, but it's the family. Beyond that, I had this incredible man, and I was so proud of him and the journal that he left for us and for our son, that I wanted people to know about that. I wanted them to know about, a positive father, a positive Black father. And then also I was hoping that I could share a word about resilience. Everybody goes through something, and to see the arc of my life, realizing that when I started this journey, the day I found out he died, success that day was just getting off the floor because I had collapsed onto the hardwood floor screaming. And now to fast forward, Jordan's 15, he's an honor student. We've been able to connect with people like you from all over the country and all over the world. So there is an arc to life, and we're not victims. We're not, we had a tragic thing happen to us, but I wanted people to see that there is hope on the other side, and you can return to a place of resilience and joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, our next question is with Nicole Perez with 5 Little Words.
Good morning, Dana. How are you?
Good morning.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thank you. So I was reading where you quoted that your husband was a procrastinator, and mine is like that too. So I just want to know, were you impressed how many pages he actually was able to write to Jordan, being that he's a procrastinator and the situation that he was in, the environment?
I am so glad you asked that. I was stunned because he didn't procrastinate on things like that. He procrastinated on things like planning our vacation, like, knowing that if he didn't do it, I would book the cruise or whatever. But he was very humble, pensive, cerebral, and quiet. He wrote love letters to me all the time, which I have in addition to the journal. But to see him become sort of obsessed with this journal, he filled it with 200 pages. I was shocked. And I don't think he realized that he was writing themes throughout the journal. There are themes he kept coming back to, which I don't think he did consciously. And they were his absolute devotion to military service, the power of God in his life, his utter expectation that Jordan respect women and his own respect for women, and his love for me. And I don't think he realized he was coming back to those themes over and over. I was just so proud of what he did, but I was absolutely shocked. And I sat there and I read those 200 pages in one setting with Jordan sleeping next to me. And I fell in love with Charles at a deeper level at that moment.
I love it. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, our next question is with Shelby Barone, OC Mom Blog.
Hello.
Hi, Shelby.
Hi, how are you? The movie was fantastic.
Thank you.
I have a question. My question is you've done such a great job of keeping your husband alive in the world. You know, everybody, what are you doing to keep him real for Jordan?
Well, he's very real for Jordan. And that's an interesting question because in some ways I made him a little too real for Jordan. And so when Jordan was a little boy, he would sometimes say, Mommy, my daddy could run faster than that bus, couldn't he? Or my daddy could jump all the way up that building, couldn't he? And I say, no, Jordan, he could not. He was just a man. He was the finest man I ever knew, but he was a man. And so Jordan actually, you know, people refer to my book, but there is an actual journal with his father. You can feel where his dad pressed the page with the pen. You can still see the indentions. And so sometimes Jordan will ask me something and I'll say, go see what your dad had to say about that. And he'll pull out the journal. And I said, you know, you are having an ongoing conversation with your father that many fathers who are alive don't have with their children. And so he appreciates that. And this does make it very real for him, his father. And he's got his medals. And I asked him, in fact, I said, Jordan, do you want to wear your father's Purple Heart on the red carpet for the premiere? And he refused. And I said, why? And he said, Mom, I didn't earn that. So his father is very much alive in his heart.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Our next question is with Angela Camacho with Queen Bee Latina.
Hi, good morning, Dana. Thank
Good
you
morning.
so much for sharing your story with us. It was absolutely beautiful. Just thinking about it, I'm trying not to cry right now because I
It's
just saw
okay,
it last
girl.
night.
Everybody all over the country is crying, so go right on
Yes.
ahead.
No, but what was it like for you and for Jordan to see your life story in a movie? What is that like?
It's interesting. People ask me, oh my gosh, what's Denzel like? What about what you wearing on the red carpet? Blah, blah, blah. I don't care about any of that. I mean, Denzel's a friend and that's what I care about. And he's so warm to us. And he called this morning because we have family in Kentucky and there was a tornado there and he wanted to make sure everybody was okay. He called to ask about Jordan today. He's going to see him this afternoon. Because he's made this feel personal to us, he invested in us as people, and that made it more real, I think, for him. He realized we weren't just characters on a page. And as he got to know that, he demanded that same thing of everyone involved with this picture. And so when I see it on the big screen, what I think about is, wow, these talented people who could turn down any project or pick up any project they want, Michael B. and Shantae and Denzel, did us the honor of not only agreeing to do this, but doing it in a way that feels personal and special to them. And therefore that comes across on screen. Denzel has said many times that I cried the first 2 times he said this and I thought he was kidding. He said it's the most important thing he's done in his entire career. And you can see that in the performances. And I've said this to him a million times, I'll be grateful to him for the rest of my life.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, our next question is with Donna Barochki, Dangerous Cupcake Lifestyle.
Hi, Dana, it was absolutely beautiful.
Hello, thank you.
It's like thinking about it again, it's making me, I am both a widow and a veteran. And
I am so sorry for your loss.
it's been a
Thank
long
you
time,
for your
but
service. Thank you for your sacrifice. Did your husband die in combat?
No, it was a very long time
Okay.
ago. It was so much of the movie that I could relate to, and I just watched it on so many levels. I was like, wow. So, wow. So I just was
Okay.
curious. It was such an amazing story, and I love how much you brought him to life, and him walking outside of you on the sidewalk, and all the little things was just absolutely amazing. And you really led us into a very personal viewpoint of your relationship, and it was very special. So I guess my question is, what, in watching the movie, what was your best memory or most difficult, I guess, to re-envision for this movie and to see on screen after?
So the best part of it was watching Denzel and Shantae and Michael really get who we are and internalize that, because I knew it was going to influence what they did on the screen. So the first day we went to the set, Jordan and I took a duffel bag of things I wanted them to see, Michael in particular. So I took the actual physical journal, a few of Charles's medals. I took Charles's dog tags, and I took the outfit that Jordan wore to his father's funeral. And, you know, I wanted them to hold these items, and a few others things were in the bag, a stuffed animal that Charles brought back from Iraq for Jordan. And Mike, for a moment, had to walk away, you know, gather himself. And then he wore Charles's dog tags that day during shooting. And so I think this all made it visceral for them, and they poured that into their performances. So that was memorable. The hardest part for me was when we shot the scenes in Arlington Cemetery. Again, I was like laying down in a van, hyperventilating. That was the third worst day of my life, behind the day I got the news of his death and then obviously his funeral. But that pain was worth it to get to this moment, because that's a powerful part of the movie. And so that's the other thing I'd say, is that sometimes painful moments are useful. I was willing to go through that to be able to share what we ultimately released to the world with all of you.
It was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question is from Miss Bailey with Rockin' Mama.
Thank you again so much for sharing such a beautiful story. I
Thank you.
cried so much during the movie. I wanted to find out, as you were reading the journal, was there anything that you learned about your husband that maybe surprised you, or things that you didn't really expect?
Yes, there were. First of all, I didn't know he could write like that. Honestly, Charles was you got to understand, he barely spoke. He was very smart, but he barely spoke because he was so quiet and tender. You know, I would describe how shy and sweet he was. And then after he died, I was interviewing his soldiers, and they're like, man, we never met that guy. And so, you know, because they knew him as this fierce warrior, and I knew him as a teddy bear. The things that surprised me were some of the things that he reflected on, in, like, he wrote about the beauty of rainbows in the journal. And, you know, the expressions of love for me, I knew he loved me, but to see him write it to our son, where he said, if you want to know, he described all these things that you should look for in a woman, and then said, if you want to know what I look for in a woman, just look at your mom. Like, I was shocked about, you know, that. So it felt like he was flirting with me all over again. And it still does when I read those entries.
Thank you.
All right, our next question is with Selena Hughes with selenahughes.com.
Good morning, Dana. Thank you
Good
for
morning.
Good morning. I was a journaler growing up, so I really understood the power of journaling and getting all those emotions and feelings out. But what I really loved when I really thought about it after the fact was that African Americans, we don't have a lot of family heirlooms, and you created a family heirloom with that journal. I wanted to know, what was your instincts in the movie? Because I could tell you had a gut feeling that you needed to do something to connect your son with his dad, Charles. So what were your instincts and that pulled you to saying, please do this journal?
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you for asking that. Before I answer it, I want to say one thing based on a theme that I'm hearing here. I think just because folks cry doesn't mean that it's